I'm Martin.
And I'm Davis.
And this is every game in my Steam library. And today we're going to talk about a little adventure game, point and click thing called Smile For Me.
Yeah.
So
what's this game about here, Martin? What is this thing?
Well, it's an indie adventure game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously it's about trauma and mental health.
Right. It has to be.
Right.
It's basically a requirement. As someone who has gone to game school and film school, it's a requirement.
On a serious note, though, I really wish that there was a few indie games out there, or like indie adventure games, that were not about the relationship between trauma and mental health, because
I mean, it's a lot to put on your... I mean, I don't want every game I play to be about it, it seems, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not every game or every indie game is about it, but it seems like if you're gonna make an artistic adventure game, like it seems like the default content of the game is gonna be about trauma and mental health.
I think the inherency of that is that people tend to write about what they relate to and what they know about, and artists just tend to they use that as a catharsis to like get a grip on their own, you know, mentality and things like that, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that at all, but it needs to be done well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, to the game's credit, it does do it well. Like, it's not too overbearing with its themes, which is I really appreciate as someone who has a hard time with stuff that's a little too obvious. And I know that in the last thing that we were talking about, I talked about how I don't always pick up on stuff that's not obvious enough, so that might sound like kind of a conflict there, but I don't know. I like to live in a zone of mystery, let's put it that way.
What are humans if not conflicting?
Exactly. But no, I'm gonna come right out and say that I would recommend this game. This is a good game. Even as someone who's not really into arty games like this, I enjoyed my experience with this game. I played through it twice, almost 3 times, but I ran into a problem where I was trying to get the very last achievement for 100% achievements, which I don't usually do. So obviously I had fun with this game.
Nice.
To play it through twice and then still want to play it through a third time to get the rest of the achievements. The achievements are pretty easy, but so something happened in the third playthrough that I want to talk about real quick. So in this game, the basic way that the game works is that you answer yes or no questions throughout the whole game by nodding or shaking your head. Oh,
so do you just do that with the mouse? That's kind of cool.
Exactly.
I like that.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's interesting. And it works really well up until this one point that I hit, and we'll get to that in a second. But basically, the framework of this game is that there's this person who I forget the name of, Dr. something, who I want to call him Dr. Teeth. We're just going to call him Dr. Teeth, and if you play the game, you'll understand why.
God, if you're wrong, I have so much editing to do.
No, his name's definitely not Dr. Teeth, but I'm just going to call him Dr. Teeth.
Right.
It's, I should say call her. It's just odd because the whole time, the voice is like very deep, or like the Simlish, I'm just gonna call it Simlish. The Simlish that they use for that voice is like really deep voiced.
Oh, okay, so it's like Animal Crossing type
I didn't get
verbiage.
Yeah, I didn't get it that it was supposed to be a woman until the end. I just thought it was a dude with long hair because everyone's like a puppet, and you don't actually see the in-game representation of this character of Dr. Teeth until the very end. And then I was like, oh, it's supposed to be a woman. Okay. I thought it was just a dude with long hair and a top hat, because the only time I'd seen this character before was with a puppet, and it's kind of hard to like tell what gender a puppet is, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. I just, that was just like a weird thing for me where I just didn't really understand what was going on for like a couple of seconds at the end. But
fair.
Anyway,
yeah, no, you're good.
It doesn't matter. Make your character whatever. Make him female, male, androgynous. I don't give a fuck. I just got a little confused. But so Dr. Teeth has this compound where she's gathered up all of these people from the town nearby or whatever who are sad, and she's planning on like harvesting their teeth to make a big smile. It's this whole thing, and there's more to it, but this is like the surface level plot. Like, this is none of the symbolism, none of the backstory for Dr. Teeth, none of that. But the surface level plot is that she's going to harvest all their teeth because they aren't using them to smile, and then she's gonna build a big smile for everybody. It's really weird and fucked up, which I appreciate, because the game puts on this air of like cartoonishness, and then like the surface level plot is actually really fucking weird and probably belongs more in a horror game.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if it had like horror elements to it, because it just sounds
big time
sick.
Big time. There are some like really good horror elements to it actually that I appreciated a lot, and I liked that it was not really boxing itself in, we'll put it that way, because like it's this nice little cartoonish like adventure game, and then at night, if you don't make it to bed in time, it has these things where Dr. Teeth like threatens you basically, and there's these really weird like analog horror cutscenes and stuff. It's great. I actually really liked the vibe of the game. In fact, I liked everything about this game, but the one problem that I had is that I don't know if it was a glitch or if it was something that happened on purpose, but I stopped playing after this. Was on my third playthrough when I was going for the 100% achievements. For this one achievement, you have to refuse a reward that someone gives to you, and the reward is a kiss. It's this drunk lady, like super drunk lady in the bar, and you're supposed to go get her glasses and bring them back to her, and you have to jump through a few other characters' quests to do this, but you can do it as part. It's not one of the necessary quests to complete the game, but if you want to like save them or make them happy again, you have to finish all the villagers' quests. So anyway, I found her glasses, I brought them back to her, and then in my first playthrough, I was just trying to collect all the rewards because I didn't really know what would happen. And she basically offers you a kiss as the reward. And so I nodded yes when she said, "Do you want a kiss?" So I nodded yes, and then she gives you a kiss, and the kiss is like an item that you can use later on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and the kiss is actually one of the necessary items you have to have for the good ending. So if you want to get the good ending, you have to accept the kiss. But in my third playthrough, I had already seen the good and the bad ending, and I was just trying to get the achievements, and one of the achievements is you have to refuse the kiss. And so when I shook my head no when she offered me the kiss, she gave me the kiss anyway. And I don't know if that was a glitch or not, or if it was supposed to be a commentary on like sexual exploitation or sexual assault. And I know they got really dark all of a sudden, but like I just kind of like sat there for a second after that happened, and I was like, this game's so full of symbolism. It's like, what just happened? Was that a glitch? Was that purposeful? I don't know. And that kind of broke it for me, because it's like the dialogue doesn't change, so it's not like, because if the dialogue changed and then like maybe she asked you another question and she gave you a kiss anyway, like that could be an interesting commentary on people, you know, forcing themselves on other people when they don't want it. I don't know.
Did you get the achievement?
No, I didn't get the achievement.
Okay, that makes me think it's a glitch.
I shook my head. She gave me the kiss anyway, and then I didn't get the achievement. And I was like, I sat there for a second and I thought about like the story implications of that and like what they were trying to go for if it wasn't a glitch. And then I realized I didn't get the achievement, and then I was like, all right, fuck this. Like I'm done. I already played this game twice, and I'm playing it through a third time, and I don't normally play this type of game, so I'm done.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I have one missing achievement on this game, but you know, I just really like this game. I like the characters. The characters are all really cool and unique, and interesting to talk to. I like the fact that you interact with the world just by nodding or shaking your head. I like the fact that the puzzles aren't too difficult, but still require a little bit of thought. I like the mechanics of the game. I like the art, the interface, the music is good. Like, if you were a student and you made this game, I would say that you've learned everything you needed to learn, and it's time for you to go out and create experiences of your own, so to speak.
Right.
Like this is a great little adventure game. and I highly recommend it to anyone who likes games like this, or even if you don't, because it's not terribly confusing in how it works and what the puzzles are. So even if you don't normally play games like this, like I don't normally play games like this and I really enjoyed it, I would still recommend it. Go out and buy Smile for Me and play it if you have the means, because it's a fun little game and it's just a great experience all around.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in the background of the developers here. Just, I don't know, like if they're younger and like this is one of their first games, or if like, I mean, these could be fucking veterans for all I know, you know? And it sounds like it's not their first game, that's for sure, because it's good. And yeah, so I'm just kind of interested in like did you look into it, any of that at all?
Yeah, so I didn't really do any research into this game just because I wanted the experience to kind of sit, and I wasn't really trying to look up like any kind of meta narrative or anything like that. I kind of just wanted my experience to be my own, and I think that that's a good way to go through this game. I think that if you're trying to get something out of this game that you think is an intended experience, then you're not experiencing this game correctly. I think you're supposed to get out of this game what you get from it. I don't know if that's clear, but it's like, it's kind of like the people who want everything explained for them after watching a movie, where it's like ending explained or whatever. It's like, the point is that you got something out of it for you personally. And I felt really strongly about this game in that way.
Okay. Yeah. From what I saw, I loved the style of it. It reminded me a lot of Psychonauts 2, which is also a huge game about these kinds of the same themes, you know, mental health and things of that nature. And so that I thought that was interesting as well, but it just kept screaming charm at me from the videos that I saw. And I like it with the voices of the characters, like not being actual dialogue, like that on top, that improves things to me. Like that just sounds like they know what they're doing and what they were going for. Yeah, I guess, you know.
Absolutely.
It just the combination of design decisions seemed to culminate in something that was actually worthwhile and like a cool experience, rather than something that's like overbearing and you know, shoving dark themes down your throat in an attempt to sound smart or something.
I think that the darker themes are really well balanced with the lighter themes, because I think overall the game has a positive message for sure. 100% unmistakably has a positive message about healing, and about not getting too bogged down in your previous experiences, and about not giving up on people, even to some extent. So the fact that is kind of juxtaposed with some of the darker elements in the game really worked for me, because it was not trying to pigeonhole itself. It was very much like just trying to tell a story the way it wanted to tell a story. And it wasn't trying to be like, oh, but if we're going to tell this story, like it needs to be darker, or, oh, if we're going to tell this story, like it needs to be more positive. It was just like, it felt very balanced in the way that like life is balanced almost, and that like good and bad things happen, you know, in the same day. And sometimes they're totally not under our control, you know. The only thing that's in our control is how we feel about the things that happen. So and what we do about those things. And a lot of the quests, or like a lot of the tasks you do to make the villagers happy, reflect that, in that a lot of them have to do with, at least two of them have to do with communicating between two villagers how the other one feels. And I think that that's really good at showing how sometimes the only thing between you and happiness is just talking to someone about how you feel. And I think
finally getting that off your chest.
And even the tasks that are a little more solid, like there's one task where one of the characters is like had a relationship with a different character, and like they're upset that they broke up. By the end of that task, they don't get back together, what happens is that the character who is upset moves on, which I think is another really good way of showing how if you leave the past in the past and you remember the good moments for the good and you remember the bad moments for the bad even, and you're like, you know, that was an experience that I'm glad I had, but now it's over and it's time to find new experiences. I think that that's a really valuable mindset too. And I think that the game does a good job of demonstrating that in a really simple way, in a really simple and easy to understand way. And that overall is kind of the entire theme of the game, especially if you do the good ending. The bad ending kind of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, what's the difference between endings?
Okay, so
I've been curious.
Yeah, so the end of the game is the same right up until the final decision that you make, regardless of good ending or bad ending. In the bad ending, you punch Dr. Teeth through a window and she falls to her death. And in the good ending, you give her a flower from her childhood and she remembers it's not so bad after all.
Can I guess the flower?
I mean, no, because it's fictional. It's not an actual flower.
Damn. Oh, damn it. I was going to be like Petunia.
No, it's nothing like that. It's some kind of lily.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a.
Not like it matters.
It's like it's weird too. It's like a tooth lily or something like that. I forget.
Ooh.
But
okay.
The significance of the flower is that the flower is also from Dr. Teeth's past. So there was this traumatic event in Dr. Teeth's past that knocked out one of her teeth, and it has to do with like familial abuse. And also her favorite flower died because of this. And that favorite flower was this tooth lily. Again, don't know if it's actually called a tooth lily. I forget, but I'm going to call it a tooth lily because I remember it being some kind of lily.
We don't even know if this person's name is Dr. Teeth.
I'm going to call her Dr. Teeth though, because that seems like an apt name to me. It's something like that. It's like Dr. Smile or something like that. I forget. It's some like really stupid pun, but Dr. Teeth, you present Dr. Teeth with this flower and Dr. Teeth is like, apparently this flower is like super rare or something, and Dr. Teeth is like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen one of these since that day, you know, like that whole cliche. And she's basically like, maybe there is good in the world, like even when I was about to kill you and take all your teeth, like you still gave me this flower and wanted me to be happy, and you know, maybe I don't have to do that. Maybe people can just be happy and feel the way they feel about things and not have to, I don't have to force them to be happy. There's a lot of really good symbolism in this game in the sense that it's very realistic almost with its messaging, because a lot of games like this are really,
there's a lot of ways to go wrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to go wrong, and I think that this game manages to avoid all of those ways to go wrong. None of the characters that you make happy again, or even Dr. Teeth, are happy because of like superficial things. They all, like, you make them happy again because they feel like someone listened to them and their concerns were heard. And you know, one of them literally is happy again because he gets to hear his favorite music one last time. Like, these people are sick. They get happy because of the way they feel about events, not because of just things that they have, you know?
Right. I was going to mention this when, when you're saying how the couple that broke up and your job was to resolve that situation. And I was happy to hear that it wasn't them getting back together because of like a misunderstanding or something. It was something that was like way more realistic that I'm sure way more people have gone through, where it's like, okay, you just need to move on somehow.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to communicate with that other person and like, you know, find that, I don't know, I guess I just don't know how they do it in the game, but like it just reminds me that they're not looking for easy solutions to just be like, oh, everyone's happy now. It's like, this is a very real thing that people can relate to and even like learn from before they have to learn it the hard way themselves.
Exactly. You know? And I think that like one of them, the only one I can think of where it's like you give them, there are two characters where like you give them a thing and then they're happy because they have that thing. And those two characters are children.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense because one of the characters is like, well, you give her an experience, essentially. You help her smack a clown with a golf ball.
Hell yeah.
And then she's happy because she did that because she hates clowns. And then the other one is like you give her like a cape and a mask and she's happy because she can pretend to be a superhero.
Did you have to fix the clown's life after that?
Yeah, he's the guy that was in the breakup.
Oh my god. Oh, this is great. This is a great game.
No, yeah, it's a really fun and cute game, and I think it does a lot of things right with its symbolism and its messaging. And I'm not going to say anything about the final scene before you either kill or save Dr. Teeth, because it gets really harrowing at the end. Like, they kind of lean into the horror a little bit more than usual throughout the rest of the game.
Okay.
And there's a simultaneously very funny and also extremely cringe inducing, like physically cringe inducing, not because like the writing is cringe or anything, but like like horror cringe.
Just
you know what I'm saying, right?
Feeling.
Like like an uncomfortable
exactly.
feeling. There's an especially uncomfortable scene right at the end before you get to resolve the good ending or bad ending that I don't want to spoil if you want to play this game. And as someone who usually doesn't give a shit about spoilers, you should take that as an indication that it's fairly solid.
Yeah, it just sounds like an impressive experience, and
it is.
like
it is
very well done. And yeah, I definitely am. It's gonna be on my wish list now for sure. I might pick it up whenever I can, but it's intrigued me completely.
Yeah,
like
it's a great game. I highly recommend this game. It only takes about 3.5 hours to beat, and you'll probably want to play it through a second time to get the other ending, and also maybe do 100% achievements if you want. So yeah, pick up this game. I highly recommend. The writing is great. The characters are great. The surface level of the story that has to do with like brushing your teeth and like dental maintenance is like funny, but also at the same time, like it gets really dark. It's just really well done, like in all areas. And I really appreciated the experience of it. And I highly recommend this game.
It makes me happy because, you know, after finishing XCOM, we were talking about how the game wants to say things, but doesn't really make any point at all.
Yep.
And this sounds like it really drove home its messaging, and not only drove it home, but had like actually good, interesting messaging on top.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like, it didn't just say what it wanted to say. It said it well. Not only through the writing, but also through the characters. The fact that you as the main character are wordless and the only thing you can do is nod yes or shake your head no is kind of another point in its favor, because if you view it from this angle, the whole point is that you can make others happy through acts of service instead of just talking to them. So it has both that aspect of talking to people is important, but also just helping is important. Being there for people, listening and helping them is also important when it comes to making people in your life happy. So no, fantastic game, all around great. Highly recommend. Go play this game.
Hell yeah.
That's all I have to say about it.
Smile for me.
Smile for me. Great game. 100 years, great game.
All right. Well, you want to know what's on deck?
Yeah, hit me with the next game.
Oh my God. Why do you... You're going to play Final Fantasy XII, The Zodiac Age.
Hell yes, brother. Hell yes, dude. That is my favorite one. I played it on PS2 first. I picked up the remaster a while ago and didn't get around to playing it. I am excited for this.
All right.
This is going to be good.
I'm glad you like it. This sounds like a nightmare to me.
I don't usually like JRPGs, but I love this game, and I don't really know why. So it'll be great to like sit down and really think about it.
I was not expecting this reaction.
This is awesome, dude. This is great news. I'm gonna bore you to fucking death with it in the next one.
I'm excited to edit the 3-hour video.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh boy, I don't think it's actually gonna be that long because there's probably not too much to say about it, but Yeah, we'll probably end up recording again 3 to 4 weeks from now, considering how fucking long that game is.
Good. Gives me some time to catch up.
Yeah.
That's great. All right.
All right. Awesome. Any shout outs?
Let's see. Shout out to oh man, let's just say shout out to Uncut Gems. Great movie.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's it. Smile for me. Go play it. We will see you in like a fucking month with Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age.
Hell yeah.
All right. Peace.